From the OUTV Broadcast Center in Los Angeles, California, this is Brief News Brief, a brief look at today's trending news topics, proudly combating the thought police since 2016. Here's your host, James Heaney.
I'm James Heaney, and this is your Brief News Briefing. This morning, the Federal Reserve raised short-term interest rates. Now, President Trump has come out and called the move foolish, which to me is like a stamp of approval. It's like going to the grocery store, finding a delicious-looking peach, and seeing that it's got an organic USDA whatever label, like a good label. Him saying it's foolish is the best news I've heard because it's happening. See, the central bank feels that it's necessary to do this to keep the U.S. economy thriving. But what's it mean? Well, it means that the Fed is acknowledging some of the early signs of weaknesses in the economy, like we might be headed straight for a recession, and the Fed's trying to stop that from happening. Now, the stock market gains were so bad in the month of December that it is only rivaled by the stock market performances in the 1930s, during which you might have learned in school was the Great Depression. But what's that mean to you and me? Well, it means that if you are on your way to the store, put the brakes on, pull over to the side of the road. If you're trying to buy yourself one of those flamethrowers from the Boring Company and you're going to put it on your credit card, stop. Despite what you feel like, you don't need that. And when you spend money on your credit card, that's a short-term loan. Those interest rates are going to go up. It's going to make it more expensive for Americans to borrow money from the bank on their credit cards. The new rate is still low by historical standards, and the Fed said in a statement that the rate hike was justified because the job gains have been so strong. You'd think those kinds of little peppered and salted in words would make Trump feel proud of himself. But then again, are we just trying to make him have certain feelings like we're babysitting a child? This isn't a story about that. The decision was unanimous with all 10 Fed leaders voting in favor of the increase. And we've got one guy saying, this is a foolish choice. We'll see what happens. The government is not going to shut down. I repeat, the government is not going to shut down. False alarm. The Senate is preparing right now to pass a short-term spending bill that will keep the government open through the new year. Oh boy, that was a close call. But wait a second. What about Trump's big threat of no wall money, no government? Well, it turns out the Congress is not really that interested in building the Great Wall of Trump, it turns out. They're more interested in going home for the holidays and being with their family. You'd say they're kind of in the pool of, let's not tear families apart, you know. The deal will extend government funding through February 8th, which is, you know, by that time, the Democrats will be in control of the House. So no wall now, no wall forever. The deal will break an impasse that threatened to shutter large portions of the government this weekend and send hundreds of thousands of federal workers home with no pay just before Christmas. Sounds like a move out of Scrooge McDuck, right? Well, actually, Scrooge McDuck turned out to be a pretty good guy at the end. There's still time in this story. Trump has signaled his support for the plan, but said that he can change his mind if he wants to. Sure you can, Trump. Sure you can change your mind. Trump has long insisted that Mexico would pay for the Great Wall of Trump. Sure they will. But Mexico says they're not going to pay for the wall. So Trump then demands $5 billion in taxpayer money to fund it. To which Americans have said, nah, brah. President Trump declared mission accomplished with ISIS in Syria. We are the champions of the world. Oh, wait, is that true? Well, experts are saying, no, it's not true. The U.S. provides air support, ground support, artillery fire in the country of Syria to stop ISIS from building up their caliphate and going apeshit all over the area. There's about 2,000 American troops in the area. The conflict has made Syria a cauldron for terrorist threats. Currently, forces backed by the United States, Turkey, Iran, and Russia are fighting in the area. Moscow's military support, which began in 2015, has been crucial in helping the Syrian President Bashar al-Assad turn the war in his favor. U.S. troops working alongside Syrian partner forces have struggled to eradicate the remaining pockets of militants in central Syria. A rapid American withdrawal could allow the militants to regain strength. Even Mad Dog Mattis has suggested that a premature withdrawal, or even giving a heads up that we're going to leave, could enable militants to make a comeback, as they did in Iraq before the Islamic State's rise in 2014. History repeating itself? What are the odds? Well, that's why that's a phrase. That's why you're supposed to learn from history, because history repeats itself, dummy. Mattis said back in September, getting rid of the caliphate doesn't mean you just blindly say, okay, we got rid of it, march out, and then wonder why the caliphate comes back. The withdrawal plans leave major... First of all, let's not go any further. That's a spot-on Mad Dog Mattis impression. You can take that to the bank, okay? I'm proud of that. The withdrawal plans leave major questions for an alliance of U.S.-backed Kurdish and Arab militias known as the Syrian Democratic Forces. A senior Kurdish official said Wednesday that they were holding an emergency meeting. Well, it doesn't sound that big of a deal. It's just the U.S. leaving to plan the next steps.